Had Martin Armstrong on. He says, I'm really worried that they're going to start World War III by the end of the year and maybe by the end of September. Are you worried about, is it biblically stacking up that we're headed for a whopping, honking big war, World War III or whatever?
Well, the biggest part of the dragon's prophecy the section is called the end of days. And the amazing thing is, and I'm careful to make sure we're always in line with the Bible. The amazing thing is there are several key prophetic flashpoints that we crossed in all that, starting with October 7th, that's what triggered it. That actually are exact links to biblical prophecy on one side, as in the prophecies of Ezekiel, but what's going to happen, and then on the other side, it's connected to the book of Revelation. It's amazing. So the thing is, ultimately, it will lead to something. That now in the book of Ezekiel, he prophesies that in the last days, Israel's going to come back in the world. We're there. And then all nations are going to, all nations in the end are going to come against Israel. But before that's Armageddon, there's going to be an invasion of Israel. And he actually cites the nations. He actually identifies them. And the nations, we can identify them today. One is Sudan, one is Libya, one is Turkey, one, there's a debate over it, but there seems to be a link to Russia. And then clearly is Iran. And it says other nations too, but here's the amazing thing. Every nation that Ezekiel mentions that can be identified, every one of them is an enemy of Israel, or is in an alliance with an enemy against Israel. And so you have all that. Number one, how could Ezekiel know that? And then on top of it, this is one of the things I open up in the book, is that it turns out when you look at each one, for instance, Sudan, Ezekiel says they're all going to be involved in it. They're going to take part in the invasion of Israel. That is still to come. But the fact is, each one of them, from Sudan, Libya, Turkey, Iran, each one of them were involved in the invasion of Israel of October 7th. Every single one of them.
Oh boy.
And for the first time in history, in prophecy, first time, every single one that Ezekiel mentioned are going to take part in an invasion actually had a part in that invasion. And that is that we never crossed that line. We're not there yet, but we crossed it. And then when you look at Iran, it says Iran's going to attack Israel. Well, they never did. Not directly. They did indirectly. Never directly. Never. But the Bible says they will. And so what happened? This spring, Iran, for the first time ever, directly sent hundreds of missiles and drones to bring destruction to the land of Israel. Has never happened. That's another prophetic milestone that we have crossed. So the answer is we are racing to it. And any of these things, you're right, can bring about world war, and ultimately they will.
Whew, boy, I didn't know that's unbelievable. And the end of days, I've been saying this to people that when Jesus goes back, he said there'd be no flesh left if the days were not shortened. So for the sake of the elect, that's you and me, brother, for the sake of the elect, the day shall be shortened. What's he talking about?
Well, that the days, it says that the end times will be evil, will be dangerous times. That when you look at the book of Revelation, you see it. All nations are going to be involved. And the thing is that shortened, meaning that not, of course, not the each day being shortened, but the overall days. And this is the days. By the way, this is the word that we're talking about comes from actually as far back as Moses. The beginning of the Bible talks about something called the Aharit Hayamim, the end of days, or the last days. And it says that in the last days, the world, it's going to be dangerous days. You're going to know. How do you know the last days? The Bible says you'll know it when Israel comes back into the world, number one. When Israel comes to Jerusalem, number two, that's where Jesus is coming. Number three, the whole world will be focused on the Middle East. You got it. The whole world will be against Israel. You're getting there. There'll be a great apostasy. People will be falling away from the faith. Well, that's happening. Men will be lovers of self. Men will be unnatural. Well, you got it all. And they'll be persecuting the people of God and hating the nation of Israel. Well, we're there. And so what it's saying is God will shorten those days, meaning he will come. He's going to interrupt them. In fact, the interruption comes when all nations are about to destroy Israel. It says on that day, that's when the Lord will come. And it says that when he comes, it says, then the Jewish people will look upon him whom they pierced, and they will turn to him on that day. That's when he's going to come. And I want to give you a little sign of the apocalypse, because we're talking about that. Apocalypse, the Bible in Revelation, it talks about the colors of it. And that it talks about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And it's all about all that's going to come on the world and come against Israel, but the whole world. And it says the first horse was a white horse. The second one was a red horse. The third one was a black horse. And the fourth one was a green or a pale green horse. So the first one represented conquest. Second one, red, was war. Black was famine or want. And the last one, pale green, represented death. So you got all that happening. Now here's the amazing thing that I bring out. There's one chapter called the Colors of the Apocalypse. And that is that the colors of the apocalypse started appearing all over the world right after October 7th, all over the world. And the reason is they were waving when they're chanting, Palestine shall be free from the river to the sea. They're waving these colors, the flag. It's the flag of Palestine is white as the white horse, red as the red horse, black as the black horse, and green as the green horse. The colors of the apocalypse. And the other thing, Greg, every single nation that has these colors as the primary colors of their flag, it marks them as an enemy of Israel. Who could put that together?
Boy, that is something. What do you think?